Heaven's down to it.
My kids got.
Oh, yeah, I
That's
saw
cute,
that.
I like it.
On your post on
Yes.
Facebook.
Or my
What an
Dolly
encouragement.
Red car runner.
Yeah, parked along the street.
So he was locked in the closet and not in the classroom.
No, it was in the classroom.
It was in the classroom.
Oh, no.
And I asked him how come you didn't leave. He says his hands are too small. You couldn't open the door.
Aww.
Oh, my
He said, actually, and I said, are you okay? He said, down. He was
Okay. All right. So you won't be needing your Bibles tonight. I've given you the readings that we're going to do because we just don't have enough time to play around and do everything. This is what is called a shortened reading that is sometimes used in synagogues and in Jewish fellowships when they're celebrating Purim. But there are some places where they will take 2 hours if need be to read everything. And we're just not going to do that tonight. But what we're looking at is a celebration of Purim. It's from the Megillah. The Megillah is the 5 readings. It's from the 5 books. The book of Esther is one of them. And then there's multiple others, and we'll kind of look at that as we go. But it's something that's read for each one of the days. It's Song of Solomon, Esther, and a few others. And it's books that are read to celebrate those. The Persian king ordered Haman to be hanged and allowed the Jews to defend against any aggressors because Esther and Mordecai triumphed over him. So here's what I'm going to do now. We're going to, if you want to grab some of the noise makers that are on the table there, kind of want to default and make sure some of the younger people get to use them. Those older people, we know how to boo, hiss, and yay! So here's what's going to happen. When anyone reads the word Esther, if anybody reads the word Esther, we're going to go, yay! Woo! And ring bells or chimes or cymbals. So you can jingling-ling, and you can do all that. If somebody says Mordecai, we're going to go, no! Mordecai's a good guy. Oh my gosh. Poor Mordecai. So,
she's on Haman's side.
yeah. She's like, I like his cookies. Okay, so if we say Esther or Mordecai, it's
Yay!
If we say Haman, it's boo. You can hiss, you can boo, you can do all the above. Just if you're going to hiss, be careful about the slobber. Okay? All right. But many enemies were defeated on the 13th of Adar, and they established Purim, and they actually give a pretty fair amount of detail in Esther in doing so. Over the years, with the celebration amongst the Jewish families, it's become a really big thing. I've even got a really cool video I'm going to show you tonight of a large group of Jewish men and women singing a Purim song. Don't ask me what the lyrics are. I couldn't figure it out. Normally, they would read the entire book of Esther twice during the day of Purim. Once in the day and then once in the evening. If you want to go deeper into it and see all the things that we're talking about, you can go and you can look at chabad.org to examine some of the things about, they even have a really good Purim guide on how to go through it if you want to do it in more detail with your own family. But one of the things that they would do after the second reading, in the afternoon, they would do the Mishlach Mano, which is the sending of portions that's actually mentioned in it. So what we're going to do is we're going to take up these right here, okay? And then Liz, you're going to give bags to the ladies, and then Mr. Rex, or Christian, you're going to give bags to the men. So that way Rex can just sit there. So, now generally they would put 2 of a different kind of thing in each one, either, you know, a couple of different types of drinks, or a couple of different types of snacks or treats, and, you know, why, thank you. All right. So, and of course, we got tons of them, and there's tons of snacks over there, so if you guys, you know, feel like you want to get up and get some more, or do some, you know, and it's one of the things that we're treating with each other. I see that Christian wore his costume, so, but nobody else. No, I'm kidding. You didn't. Nobody wore costumes. But anyway, that's one of the things they do. They would dress up. They would wear costumes. Usually dressed up like Esther or Haman or Mordecai. And, you know, and especially those that were doing the readings and things like that. And sometimes they would even do treats and do it based on whatever costume or anything that they were wearing. But as we look at the Megillah, right, which, you know, and we're looking at Esther. Okay, you guys have already failed. There you go. If we gotta pause that long, it's gonna take us forever just to get through. All right.
Be a long night.
And then, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go to the next one. So this is the reading of the Megillah that we're doing tonight, the compressed version of Esther. And here, you know, this is the contents, okay? So you can see the order of what we're going to read. All right, so when this one's done, whoever's got this one will read, and so on. This gives you the order. So if you're like, I don't know when mine is, this is going to tell you. Whoever reads this, and make sure you read the titles on there so everybody knows what we're reading. Okay? I'm sorry?
Number 6, Mordecai's request.
Yeah. What does it say?
The first piece.
I'm sorry?
The first piece.
The first feast?
There's 2 fours. There's no 5. There's no 5. 2 7.
Well, no. Oh, I missed page 5. Okay, I'm miscopying page 5. That's my fault. But it's on there, right?
It's the first piece.
The first feast. That's what you're reading.
I
Okay?
was like, wait a minute.
It's going to be right there. Okay?
You just have to land on the
There's a second feast after.
Yeah, there is a second feast. The set on page 7. All right, so you ready?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
All right, so I'll have to make sure I correct that for the slide for next one. All right, so the Megillah, the book of Esther. I said Esther. Hey. All right, Liz, go ahead.
So, the Megillah, the book of Esther.
Yay!
It all began in ancient Persia in the 4th century BC. The Holy Temple that had stood in Jerusalem was destroyed more than 50 years earlier, and the Jews were subjects of the mighty Persian Empire that extended over 127 lands. Ahasuerus ascended the Persian throne when he felt secure in his new position. He celebrated by throwing a grand 180-day-long party for all of his subjects. Following this extravagant gala, Ahasuerus hosted a smaller week-long party for the residents of the capital city of Shushan. In the palace's women's quarters, Ahasuerus' wife, Queen Vashti, hosted her own party for the Shushanite womenfolk. On the 7th day of the party, Ahasuerus' heart was merry with wine, and he commanded his wife Vashti to appear before all the partying men. He wanted to show them all her exquisite beauty. Vashti balked at this request, and at the advice of his advisor, Memucan, Ahasuerus ordered Vashti's execution.
All right. The beauty contest. Who's got that one?
When Ahasuerus,
Ahasuerus.
Ahasuerus
Lord bless
You
you.
say the word. Okay, when Ahasuerus' wrath dissipated, he was lonely for a while. His servant suggested that he orchestrate a beauty pageant. Officers would be appointed in all the king's lands, and all beautiful girls would be brought to fruition. Ahasuerus.
Lord bless you.
And the girl who would find favor
That's
in the
weird.
king's eyes would be the new queen. The leader of the Jews at that time was Shushanite resident named Mordecai.
Mordecai!
He had a cousin Esther, who was orphaned as a young girl. Mordecai raised her and treated her as a daughter. Though she had no desire to be queen, Esther was forcibly taken to the king's harem to participate in the contest, where all the other contestants beautified themselves with perfumes and lotions. Esther did nothing, but God had his own plans. When Esther appeared before the king, he immediately liked her, and Esther became the new queen of Persia. But as per Mordecai's directive, Esther divulged her nationality even to the king. Well, that was a tongue twister.
How do you say that long one again?
Which one? Which one?
All right, Mordecai to the rescue.
That's me.
All right.
Shortly after Esther became queen, Mordecai overheard two of the king's chamberlains discussing a plot to assassinate the king. Mordecai had them reported, and the traitors were hanged. Okay.
Continue on.
Prime Minister.
The anti-Semitic prime minister.
Anti-Semitic Prime Minister.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Haman, one of Ezra's ministers, was promoted to the position of Prime Minister. Haman was a virulent Jew hater, and in fact, he was a descendant of the notoriously anti-Semitic nation of Amalek. Immediately after his promotion, the king issued a decree ordering everyone to bow down whenever Haman appeared. Now Haman would walk around with a large idol hanging around from a chain hanging around his neck. When Mordecai, a proud Jew, refused to bow down, Haman was infuriated. He resolved to take revenge against all the Jews and throw lots to determine the lucky day when he would implement his plan. The lot fell on the 13th day of the Hebrew month of Adar. Haman approached Ahasuerus and offered him 10,000 silver talents.